Alright guys, thank you very much for attending the workshop of storytelling. I'll put it on the side here, so it'll be easy to see the screen. So, I would like to start with a question. So, do you remember any story that you went to attend on a cinema lately? The last movie that you went to watch, do you remember the story? Do you remember the story that someone told on the last meeting of business? Right? Do you remember any child story that still stay with you? Why? Why some stories stay, some others not? Is that we are going to explore on these ones. Yep. So, again, for who wasn't attending on the last one, I'm Clayton Gallego. I'm a cinematographer and creative director in Adventist Media. So I work in 3 different countries, but I'll move on fast. I would like to tell a story. One time I was with my group, family group. I used to sing on a group, mixed group with my mom in Brazil. And we received an invitation to go to another state. I live in Paraná state, so we received invitations to go to Criciúma. We rented a bus and started traveling around. It was night. And we went to that place, Serra do Rio do Rastro. It's a beautiful place, but imagine traveling with a bus at night on this one. It's kind of sketchy. And the driver didn't have much experience. So he was driving and pushing brakes all the time. And you know the result of this, right? We start smelling a weird, funky smell, and suddenly we heard some noise. Everyone inside of the bus was oblivious, like we didn't know what's going on. So, and when they have like some strong noise, I joke with my cousin that was inside and said, "Look, we're going to fall off of the cliff." And it was literally this. we beat it, this part, exactly this part here. The bus just stopped it and lost the brakes here. And we have like a half of the bus on the one side and half of the bus on the other side. It was dark. The only thing that I remember, that I look at my uncle, and I think I was 17 years old at the time. And we jumped out of the window with the flashlights and making signs from both sides, because this kind of highway used to bring trucks all day going up and down. If one truck, just one, turn the bend and don't see us, they'll pull everyone to the void. And that would be like a very bad situation. So we managed to stop the cars. It was necessary 2 trucks, one to pull back and another just to pull the front of the bus to back on track, and problem solved, right? Yeah, we're still on the top of the highway, we have to go down all this way without brakes. And the guy wasn't even keen to do it because he was like so terrified. So one of the friends were a truck driver by career, and he assumed the wheel, and we went down, not saying a word. It was like a dead silence until we reached the bottom. The guy managed to drive the truck without brakes, just using the engine brake, and that's the story that I have for more than 30 years. So why I keep remember this? And some other stories I cannot remember. So the first thought is people don't connect information. People connect with meaning. It's something that I mentioned a lot of times in the other workshop. It's the similar thing. So when the people feel something, something changes on it. So I had 4 foundations for a normal recipe for storytelling. One is people, who we care about, plot, what keeps us watching, places, where we believe, purpose, why it matters. So if you have these 4 recipes, 4 ingredients, I can build a metaphor of like a building. If you have a building, you need to have a foundation, right? If one of these pillars are weak, the story will become weak. So when we have all these 4 ingredients in one single story, they start to become memorable. So let's start with the first one, people. What do you see when you see this image here? You see a kid. What? Sadness. I would say vulnerability. Vulnerability. It's hard to say this. But yeah, can you agree with me? When you see vulnerability, you know, you start to look into the mirror. It's exactly the same thing that I said on the workshop on AI. The human brain starts looking to similarities to be related to. If you see someone too perfect, you'll be avoiding this. It's not something like that. It's uncanny that you cannot have. But if you see someone vulnerable, you start to relate to, you start to care about it. And the stories you see that explores a lot. So great storytellers don't begin with what they want to say, they begin with who we care about. And this is a strong statement. I have a video here that will pass very quickly that was produced for Adventist Media to Christian Service from the Blind. So the idea initially was just to do a testimony, just have like someone speaking to the camera, like generate some kind of emotion to people give donations. So we talk about it and we decided what about to change a little bit and do like putting ourselves in their shoes. And the client was happy to try to give away. And yeah, this video was launched in a month. And 1 month, just get donations from I think the equivalent of 1 year of donations on the past videos. And we won award on Christian media, Australian Christian media, I think was in 2 years ago. Oh, just play and you have a look.
For the providences of God. In any decision you've got to make in life, look for the providences of God. Look for the providences of God.
we didn't say a word. It just the video, reaction, the feeling, not words, just on the screen. So contradiction creates depth. So when you see confidence, like the character is confident but insecure, often you see this in Hollywood. After this workshop, you start watching movies differently, for sure. You start looking at, oh yeah, this thing, I know. And you see the recipes behind the story. Strong and vulnerable, hopeful and afraid. Those contradictions create depth. And depth creates empathy. So you start caring about. Well, I have a first example here, Finding Nemo. I love this movie. It's very good. And it's a fish that searches for his son. But the film is not about a fish. It's about fatherhood. It's about the father being past trauma and try to control all the situations around the son and even destroying the relationship. So the father has to overcome the fear in order to save this relationship with his son. You see like the difference, like on the synopsis you will not see this, but if you watch the movie, this will be on the underlines. So it will not be said this, but you listen and watch it and feel it. It's a different way to watch movies. So people connect with the humanity, not perfection. Same as I said before. When they see perfection, the human brains tend to reject. Fight the human struggle. This is kind of an example here, just an exercise. I will not go through this because I don't know if we'll have time because there's more videos to show. But have a look on these questions and think about. I'll give just a couple of seconds and we'll change. If someone wants to grab a photo, now is the time. And these concepts, don't get me wrong, these concepts works for sermons, for presentations, for any kind of communication that you want to tell a story, not only movies. All right, let's continue. So the foundation 2 is plot. Do you remember this talking? What movie is? Yes. So plot is tension, it's not events. Events like I woke up, I go to the bakery, I get a coffee. This is event. But if I walk up and I go to bakery and get a coffee and a car just run over me, this is tension. This is something else. It's changing, it's shifting, it's creating more fear, tension. So I have this video here. I will not say much, I will just play.
Your thoughts precede your feelings. So in order to change your feelings, you must change your thoughts. I was believing so many things that were false, and that was leading to all of these negative consequences. I've loved the outdoors my whole life. I grew up going camping and fishing with my dad and my family, and it's a place where I really feel free. So I taught rock climbing, abseiling, which is kind of how you get back down, and I taught bushwalking. I loved it, man. It was a really great job. It was wonderful to work in the capacity of working with people and seeing their personal development. So in 2013, we had a huge class that year, and there was a student named Darren. He was a lovely guy. He'd come with a bit of experience and background. He was just a nice guy to work with. So it was about 2 weeks after the course finished for the year, after the graduation, and I was sitting in a cafe with my then girlfriend and got this message from a friend. And I just remember sitting there and they said that, oh, Darren's died in an abseiling accident in the Blue Mountains. And just everything stopped. It was very surreal, and I didn't know how to process it. All of a sudden, I had all these emotions of grief. I had these emotions of fear, of disbelief, and of anger. And I walked out into the car park of this coffee shop, and I just remember screaming, and then hyperventilating, breaking into tears, and just the overwhelming emotions just led me to a place where I was just like, I just remember swinging, punching at bushes and trees and just things that were there. I just didn't know how to express the turmoil that I was feeling. For the first 6 months after Darren's death, I remember kind of just suppressing all the emotion.
I will just pass because the video is long, but you got an idea, right? On that video, we start without tension, just building up the character on the normal daily life. He was just doing his thing, and things start happening, things occur, and then start increasing a little bit of questions. Questions are asked, uncertainty is created, and stakes are raised. And I didn't create this. The story was there. I just used the story in a way that this build was raising up. And don't get me wrong, this is not like a manufacturing story. This is the story. It's just a way of tell. So Foundation 2 plot, I have the Dark Knight example. Batman is trying to stop Joker. That's the normal synopsis and everything. But if you think about it, it's not actually this. It's Batman is fighting against the alter ego. He's trying to not corrupt himself on the city that's all prepared to corrupt him. And the Joker is like the perfect opponent because he knows this and they push Batman all the time to do the wrong thing because he believes that Batman is like him. You see, like they not say this on synopsis. You have to watch the movie and understand by yourself. So the audience isn't asking if it happens. They're asking if what they hope for will come true. Even something that happens, and the arc is something that changes. And we will see these more examples further on. So this is the basic recipe of a storytelling as well. Like I'm giving a lot of concepts. This is kind of like a beginner to intermediate and touch a little bit on advanced storytelling point. But this is very easy to follow, and if you want to grab a screenshot, this is very important. So Act 1, you establish the world, introduce the person, reveal the wound or want. So what we did with Robbie? We introduced the world, we stated that he's an alpinist, a teacher, and we put the wound on the place. Like, for example, he was in depression because he heard that someone of these students just died, passed away on an accident, doing freestyle, which was his teaching. And he started feeling guilty. That's the wound. And then you have a confrontation. So stakes are, raise the stakes, create the obstacles, and force a choice. So this part is when Robbie started thinking in suicide. So the things started ramping up to a point of no return. And this is the point of no return, the breaking point. So I didn't pass the whole video, but at the end, he had a conversation with a psychologist that just turned out that he made Robbie to turn out to Jesus again and started thinking in a different way. And he was saved by this. So this is the breaking point. He was almost committing suicide, and then something changed. And the thing is, like, the character, the arc, they call it arc because it's like going up and down. So the character starts in one way, and they should not finish in the same way. He should finish differently, either changed. So there's a percentage, like Robert McKee is a good storyteller, and is one guy that if you want to get a books for storytelling, Robert McKee is a good name. He had like one book called The Story. And he portrays like this kind of a percentage, like a 25 minutes for a setup, 50 minutes on the conflict, and 25 to the finish, just a conclusion, resolution. Some other storytellers has like slightly different, but this is the basic recipe. So every arc has a moment of no return. Character cannot go back to who they were. That moment is where the story lives. So this is the breaking point. And you see this in parable of Jesus as well. When you see like a Good Samaritan, the point of no return is like he arrived there and he decided to help. This is like, I cannot go back, I cannot start helping and no, I'll go away. Not working this way. Or the prodigal son. The point of no return is when he realized he was eating with the porks. So there's two arcs, one story. The plot arc happens externally. So on the Good Samaritan, for example, what happened externally, events, obstacles, confrontations, is what happened with him because of his choices and everything. And the character arc is what changed internally. It's like, well, I will live my life with my money, my heritage, and I will spend all the stuff, and it's fine for me. But at some point, he changed it. He said, like, look, I can go back and work as an employee for my father. So this is internal change. He changed his mindset. And this is the character arc. So another template. This is to build your arc. So as much you go in the story, there's more layers and more ways to do this properly. So who is the same as people. The name of people, what they fear, what they scare of, the wound, what they like carry on. Like when you present the character, usually they already carry a wound. You see these in normal movies. Like, for example, they start portraying a father that's everything good with him and everything, but he had a trauma that he lost his wife. This is the wound. And the turning point is something that forces the character to do something that he would never do, and he cannot go back. This is the turning point. And the cost, what will cost for him? So I'm trying to think about one, but I will move forward just to not lose the time as well. And the change, because the character cannot stay on the same point that he started. So this is one thing to take a picture as well. What is happening? What is emotionally at stake? What tension exists? What question is the audience is waiting to resolve? Our human brains, they are wired to solve problems. If you give away everything to the audience, they'll find boring. They need to solve the puzzles. And when they solve these puzzles, they have they own the idea, and they start to relate with the story as they own. Like, I discovered this, so I feel special. Have you watched a movie, like a crime movie, that everyone is a suspect, but you have friends around and everything, and you discover first who is the killer? You feel great, right? I always discover, but my wife hates to watch movie crime scenes with me. It's terrible. But it's about the pattern, and because I know this stuff, it's kind of easier to track down. Foundation 4 is places, where the life existed before the camera arrived. What we can see on this image? possibly. But what else we can see? There's some elements that, like, they're there. They're telling more stuff, but they're... Yes, it's a classroom. Yeah, it's very well perceived. Yeah. Another thing is they don't have electricity. They don't have light. So you see, there's a lot of information on this single picture that tells something. Tells about the people that live there. Tells more story than actually just a picture. I don't know if I want to play this. This is a film that I did for the conference when I was living in Lebanon. We went to Jordan to record a story because Lebanon doesn't have any number to showcase the number of conversions and everything. It's very minimal, and they are pretty much focused on mission. So I think I will play just a beginning, just to explain a little bit on one concept. That's my wife, by the way. So this video, I have two different setups and two different instincts. One is very dragged, very slow, like almost like dragging, and another is very fast paced. So why is that? Because the contrast, the conflict, and the meaning. So first setup is the message being delivered, and it shows like how difficult it is to move around on these places, how slow, how it costs to do something. And after the message is delivered, it's just urgency. So you see the contrast on this, like a contradiction? So, yeah, location versus places. Location is just a place. So, it's just a set. And a place, it's where the life existed before. And I will show with a very nice example here, like the Children of Men. I don't know if you watched this movie, but the first 3-4 seconds, I don't know, like it's just a little bit beginning of the movie. You already have the sense of what the cost to live in this world, and everything is involved. So it's very dirty, it's very dark, everything is destroyed. So you already feel like this weight on like the first seconds of the movie. And this is a very resource to be used, because we often try to clean up, like we're going to film a documentary. And in the past, I used to go in the home of someone, and if it was like a little bit dirty, I will clean it up to film. It's not true. You know, it's not the same thing. You have to become you have to stay with the truth. So exactly this, this place has history. This photos has history. All the elements, the objects, they tell something. And it has like a very nice example like here. The conversation in the living room may be perfect, but the bathroom sink doesn't lie. Because if the people don't clean up, they will tell something like that. This is very, very true statement. So purpose, not message, meaning. Purpose is the last foundation that we are going to discuss here. Yeah, I have another video. I don't know if I have the time to do it, but let's see.
Never give up. Yeah, let's see how long that lasts. I've done this before. New city, same mission, same nerves. Honestly, I'm already tired, and I haven't even started yet. At first, it's fine. People are busy. I get it. Everyone's got somewhere to be. But then, there's always that one person. He looked me right in the eyes, took the book, and boom, straight to the trash. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so I did neither. And just like that, the city swallows you whole. You're here trying to talk about heaven, and no one even looks up from their phones. I started wondering if I'd gotten it all wrong. I thought maybe I wasn't cut out for this. Maybe someone else was supposed to come here. Someone with better words, better energy, or at least better shoes. And then I saw him. Some kid reading one of the books. Maybe the same one from the trash. I don't know. But there he was, underlining words I thought nobody cared about. Turns out, God doesn't need my perfect words. He just needs me to show up, even when I'm tired, even when no one listens. Because no seed planted is ever in vain. Maybe that's what faith...
It's okay. I think it's enough. So it shows purpose, right? So, yeah, message versus meaning. Message is something that you delivered. Meaning is something that you feel. It's a little bit different. It creates a journey and let the open door. And allows people to discover something. So, purpose, Interstellar is a very good example. So, the surface is just a science fiction of like astronauts trying to save the world because the food is getting scarce. But underneath is the Father trying to overcome all this stuff through love with it's a fatherhood as well, yeah. You see, like it's some difference. Ask not what I want to them know, what I want them to discover. It's a different questions and different meanings, a different weight as well on the story. So Jesus was a very good storyteller, and I can tell like all the stories stays for ages, and people remember all the stories that have been taught. So he used these elements. If you think about it, all these elements are there. It's not manipulation of the story. It's just the right way to tell the story. So when all these four pillars aligns, the story starts feeling like a content and starts feeling like a human. Yes. This is another example, but I want not to go through. Yeah, so this is one thing that I learned, like you have to start beginning with the story. I never turn on the camera without knowing the story because this will dictate how I will react with the camera. So it's a little bit different from usually the people think. And a great storytelling is not about manipulation of emotion, like I said before. It's about revealing a human truth clearly enough that the people can recognize themselves inside of it. And thank you very much. Now I finish on time.